Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into the second episode of the Bulletin with Summy. Today we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be recapping the first two games, and I'm going to be going over on my thoughts on Fred Hoiberg as a coach. Alright, so the first two games, we saw a lot of success on things that we didn't expect to see. We saw a lot of people were surprised that the Bulls had a free-flowing offense, but given that we had Rajon Rondo sign a perfect point guard for the Fred Hoiberg type of basketball, a lot of that didn't really surprise me, but the way that the Bulls were contagious to his passing, I think that surprised me more. We saw last game against Indiana, they won by a big margin, and they had 34 assists on 45 field goals made. That tells you that Rajon Rondo, sure, he had 13 assists total, 11 in the first half, but everyone was passing the ball from 1 through 10. We saw Fred Hoiberg roll out 12 guys, and each one of those were, they wanted to make the extra pass, and sometimes it came to a fault because guys were open and they're still trying to make the extra pass. They're still trying to find the cutting guy, But anytime you have guys making an extra pass, and they're not shooting the ball, you can learn from it, but it shows you like a positive vibe that they're willing to share the ball, and a lot of that we didn't see during the Derrick Rose era, because he was a score first point guard. You can argue that he didn't have the proper teammates for that, proper personnel for that, but what Rajon Rondo has done, he's come into this Fred Hoiberg system. He's been a coach on the floor for Fred Hoiberg, and a lot of us envisioned that coming in. And he really set the tone for the Bulls. But a big part between the Boston game and the Indiana game, a big factor in it was rebounding. And nobody had, these outstanding numbers, but the total reboundings were pretty outstanding. Bulls won the rebounding battle against Boston, 55-36, 18 offensive rebounds to 3 offensive rebounds. Those are huge numbers. And then you had against Indiana, 47 rebounds against 33. Then the offensive rebounds were 13-8. We're seeing big rebounding numbers, but nobody's having these giant 15 rebound games because they're doing this as a team. Robin Lopez is it's boxing out 2-3 guys, Taj Gibson himself, and which helps Rajon Rondo and Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler to go in the paint and grab rebounds that their big guys should be grabbing. So it is a big team effort, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. You're seeing a lot of steals. Last game they had 8 steals, and between Michael Carter-Williams, and they had a death lineup of Rajon Rondo, Michael Carter-Williams, Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, and Taj Gibson. 4 of the 5 guys were top assist leaders. One of the top steals leaders. So when you have 4 guys who can cut through the passing lanes and start fast breaks, that not only brings easy points, but that puts a lot of pressure on the offense, on the opposing offense to not cheat the system. To you have to play honestly. So you can't, make risky passes with those 4 guys on the court at the same time. I want to talk about my thoughts on Fred Hoiberg. Honestly, I think last year he took a big punch to the face because, he came in as a rookie coach and he tried coaching a veteran roster. This was a win now roster. They went to the semifinals. A few years back they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. This same roster, the core guys, they weren't ready to have a rookie coach come in and tell them what to do. This was Tom Thibodeau's guys. They wanted someone to tell them. We saw Jimmy Butler say that last year. He wants to be Coach Harder. Fred Hoiberg came in, and he came into like the wrong situation. I really think that it was he won 42, 43 games last year. The previous year with Tom Thibodeau, they won 49. So it was like a 7 loss, give or take, a difference. I think that anytime you come in right away into an unfair situation where your personnel does not match with your system, especially Derrick's style of play, you're not gonna have a lot of success. So I think Fred Hoiberg being in his second year, I think he's going to find a lot more success. I think he also has some sort of protection when it comes to he has like he's tenured more or less, because I feel like John Paxson and Gar Forman put a lot on the line to hire this guy after firing Tom Thibodeau. So I think he has a lot of leeway for mistakes. But given all of that, I think he's going to be proving a lot of people wrong. I'm not saying he's a Greg Popovich by any means, a Steve Kerr by any means, but I think he's gonna succeed, and I think he's gonna have a lot better system. You're gonna see a much better offense with Rajon Rondo, coaching on the court, being extension of Fred Hoiberg, and that's what he needs. Taj Gibson was quoted to say last night, to say that Rajon Rondo is calling most of the plays on the court. It's on Fred Hoiberg. So if that's the case, that's exactly what he needs, Fred Hoiberg. So I think he's gonna be somebody that we will look back 5 years from now and say, you know what, he wasn't that bad. We can't say that about Vinny Del Negro, but we could probably say that about Fred Hoiberg. And lastly, I want to talk about really quickly the RJ Hunter signing. I think he was a good addition. I mean, I haven't seen him play much, but I've read comparison to Tony Snell as far as someone who's able to get open, shoot the shot, looks like it's about to go in, but he misses often. So, I mean, hopefully he has a big turning point. And before I get into the Q&A session, I have an announcement to make. I want to mention that my good friend, Sub the Gamer, is going to be joining us next week on the show. I believe he has over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's really big and he's a lot of fun to talk to. So I think if you guys tune in next week, it will be the 5th episode of the show. No, it will be the 4th episode of the show. Yeah. I think when he comes in, you guys will see the room get a lot brighter, because he has nothing but a smile on his face. So that'll be a lot of fun. And the next thing I want to do is get into the Q&A. I've done a few Q&As, on the page. I've answered them, but I think it's a lot more fun answering them, through a video, because you guys can at least hear the tone that I'm saying things in. Because I know one time somebody said, you sound so depressed when you put up a status when the Bulls lose. Well, I'm not depressed. I'm just saying it. The Bulls lost to whoever. So, it's a lot better when you guys can hear my tone of voice. All right. So the first question is from Ryan Butler. No, he's not Jimmy Butler's brother. Ryan Butler. He said, "What gave you the idea to start the show?" I always felt like there's always a next step to something. You can never peak at something. So when I started the page, I started the blog, and now when I start the video portion of this, I want to continue to get better, and eventually, hopefully, things take off and it'll be successful, and it'll be a lot of fun for you guys to tune into on a weekly basis. The next question is by Kyle Werner. Sorry if I butchered your name. Who off the bench do you think has the best season? I think it's gonna be Doug McDermott. He's gonna be a spark plug, whether he has a big game or not. He's gonna be coming in and spacing the floor, and that's as you saw, or the criticism that came from the Bulls that they don't have enough spacing. So I think they're proving a lot of people wrong in the first 2 games, with D-Wade hitting 4 threes in the first game. Same with Jimmy Butler, but someone like Doug McDermott coming in, I think he's gonna be very aggressive. A few more questions. What's your realistic expectation of the seed for the Bulls this season? This is by Dean Bradford. I've been continuing to say they're going to be 3rd seed. I don't know how ESPN, Yahoo, Sports Illustrated, and all the big, even the Tribune, saying that they're going to be 8th seed or out of the playoffs. I don't know how. They have a lot of talent, and I think they're proving a lot of people wrong. I've been saying it. I think they're going to be 3rd to 5th seed range. Right now I'm going to be happy and say 3rd, just because I'm a little delusional. But, honestly, my honest opinion is going to be around the 5th seed. This is by Derek Washington. Do you think this team is more talented than the Knicks? And talented? No. Are they better? Yes. Knicks have a lot of talent. I just think I don't know what direction they're going in. I don't think they're being coached well either by what's his name? I forgot his name. He used to coach Huh? Hornacek, yeah. Sorry, I got my producer back here. Yeah, you got Hornacek back there coaching. So, I don't think they're as good as their advertiser. As Derrick Rose said, they can go 82-0. So, no. Will the team win the division? This is by Jeremy Sumter. No. Anyone who thinks that they're going to win the division is a little delusional. No, it's Cleveland Cavaliers and then Chicago. Yes, I think they're going to win out against Pacers and Pistons. But no, I don't think they're going to be as good as Cleveland Cavaliers. And with that, there's a lot of questions, and I'm very thankful that you guys are asking questions. But with that, I'm going to end it. And the people who I didn't get to, I'm going to follow up in the following episode. So thank you again for tuning in to the second episode of The Bulletin with Sunmi. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. So rate, comment, subscribe, share this link, and I'll see you next time. Peace.